actually wanted you to talk to each other. Bizarrely, it seemed to be less talking during the reflective time than during my initial opening bit. Scott. Yeah, it was a bit odd, isn't it? You know, starting the wrong way round, but it doesn't matter, as long as you're learning. Okay, so what we're going to do now is to go back in time, and I'm going to run through the lectures one by one, and possibly ask you some questions. The first lecture, Vaughan Oliver. Remember, if you had to say one word, it's going to be tricky this one. If I had to say one word, what would you say about Vaughan Oliver's lecture? What would be your memory of Vaughan Oliver?
Fun.
Fun. Music. Music. Is that it? Fun and music.
Collaboration.
What?
Collaboration.
Collaboration, yes. Bottoms. Got to get that first. Sharon back. David back. The Pixies, album covers, Barnsley. There's all sorts of things that I remember about Vaughan Oliver. And that's quite an interesting. Does anybody else remember anything about Vaughan Oliver? Either you're too shy, you're not saying the same thing, or you don't remember.
He had a strange accent.
He had a strange accent. Well, why do you think it was strange? Why is that strange?
It's so strange, I just not used to it.
I think actually that's a really interesting point, and you've reminded me of a very, very important thing. A word that all designers use, and all educators use, is differentiation. So it's a different accent, and it's actually very important in graphic design. So we have difference, very important philosophically, but I'll go back to another lecture. Yeah? So Vaughan Oliver, he comes from Newcastle, Sunderland. I can't remember exactly where, but it's up north. He went to Newcastle University and I think Durham University. Vaughan didn't want to be videoed, so I'm hoping there aren't too many videos out on YouTube with Vaughan Oliver, otherwise you'll get quite annoyed. But what I did was, he was quite happy for me to record some of his sounds, like his voice. I was getting used to my phone and my iPad, so there was only some small clips of it. So there are some small videos that I made of Vaughan Oliver saying things. They're very rough. They're showing me working on my computer as well. But the thing I'm going to say to you is that none of you seem to remember very much about something that happened 6 weeks ago.
I want it to almost look like we found these things, not too sophisticated. It seems to be the trend in recent years, the type of the environment, three-dimensional type. But I want to react against this. I wanted it to look like student work, very raw.
That's his funny accent.
It's total contrast to the book and the Japanese guys, all theirs.
So, what I'm trying to show you here is that very few of you seem to remember something about him. Now, some of you at the time would have written a little article about Vaughan Oliver's work. Now, those people who've done that, that's good, because you remember something nearer the time better than something 6 or 7 weeks later on. So anybody who's saving up all of these things to the end are making a mistake. Yeah? You need to start to get into the habit of writing as you go along. This lecture series ends at 10:45, and you're supposed to then go away until 1 o'clock and start to write these things up. Go to the library, go on the internet, find out about what's going on. So for instance, after this lecture, you should be going away and finding out about how do I learn, what are the different ways I learn. I should come back to that. So, Vaughan Oliver. Who liked Vaughan Oliver's work? Yeah, interesting. You will have him next year, yeah, as one of your tutors. So he's very interesting about trying to get you to express yourself and have your own voice. If that makes any sense. I mean, what I'm not talking about, I'm talking metaphorically, analogy. Your own voice as a designer, rather than someone who's just a technician. Okay, let's move on. Who is the next person to give a lecture? Spiller. Okay. So Neil Spiller was very happy for his lectures to be recorded. I have 6 comments now. That's good. Excellent. Okay, some people have come up to me and said, that was an amazing lecture. I'm still thinking about it. Some people have come up to me and said, I'm not quite sure what he was talking about. Other people have come up to me and said, I thought surrealism was this. You did mention Salvador Dali, but he seems to be going about something else. What else can you remember about Neil Spiller's lecture? The Dean of the College. Think of some words. Henry, what words were you thinking about in Neil Spiller's lecture?
I wasn't even following, it wasn't making sense.
So, no, that's fine. That's all I want you to say. You thought he wasn't making sense. So, how do you find out how to make sense of that?
Research.
Thank you. So, you do some research. So, you take some of the ideas, and this is what I think some people might be being a bit daunted by when they start to do some writing, is that you may only take one idea that came up from any of these lectures, and you will look at and write about that. Henry, what are you going to want to say?
My name's not Henry.
Sorry. Keep answering to the word. Keep answering to Henry. Henry. Okay. You keep answering to the name.
I keep forgetting.
Sorry, apologies. So, Neil Spiller, what can you remember about Neil Spiller's lecture? Nothing at all. Has anything written about Neil Spiller's lecture? Okay. I want you to, for 2 minutes, I want to see that number. It's now 6. If anybody's written anything about it, or can you write something now, quickly put that onto one of the pages, Professor Neil Spiller, either the video page or the page before this. Yeah? So you have 3 minutes to do that. You can also talk amongst yourselves now. Chat about things. Talk about surrealism and Marcel Duchamp and the Baroness and the furry things, his island. Okay, you can stop the video now.